ZNS Network is operated by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. It is located at Harcourt Rusty Bethel Drive, Centerville, Nassau. Our programming is designed to inform, educate, and entertain. We invite you to join us.
The following is the preamble of the Constitution of the Bahamas, which was made on June 20th, 1973, and came into operation July 10th, 1973.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now, know we therefore, we the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The Ministry of Health is working to ensure the safety of the Bahamian people. Help us minimize the risk that coronavirus poses to citizens, residents, and visitors by following these 5 easy steps. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water, apply soap and lather for 20 seconds by rubbing them together. Include the top of your hands between your fingers and under your fingernails. Rinse your hands under clean water, then dry them with a paper towel or air dry them. Remember to wash your hands before and after eating, preparing a meal, changing a diaper, or caring for the sick, and always after using the bathroom, touching money, shaking hands, or taking out the trash. Step 2. Cough and sneeze in your elbow or upper sleeve, not in your hands, not in the air. Or you can cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Put your used tissue in the trash bin when you're finished. Remember to wash your hands with soap and clean water after you cough or sneeze. Also, remember never to spit on the ground, roads, or in open spaces. Step 3. Ensure that raw meat is properly handled and cooked thoroughly. Step 4. Avoid sharing drinking glasses, eating utensils like spoons and forks, or sharing personal items such as toothbrushes and towels. Germs can live on surfaces we touch, so wipe and disinfect surfaces where germs can live, and keep your surroundings clean. Step 5. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness, such as coughing or sneezing. Should you or anyone you know feel that you have been exposed to the coronavirus, contact the surveillance unit of the Ministry of Health immediately. To reach us, call 502-4776, 502-4790, or 502-4737. We want Bahamians and those that live with and visit us to remain safe from the coronavirus. To do this, we need the help of each and every one of you to follow the simple steps we have shared. Let's stay safe, Bahamas.
Numbers swell, as does the need for assistance. Good morning, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinda with your morning edition. While Tuesday's dashboard reveals no new confirmed COVID-19 cases or deaths, the number of people in quarantine has evidently increased, moving from 493 to 712. This, of course, could be due to more testing. Testing, the Prime Minister says, will be further expanded this week, leading to an increased total. Now, health officials are counting on this data to provide a broader picture of the extent of the pandemic. It's expected that that data should reflect that the case fatality rate is actually lower. Up to airtime, the number of coronavirus cases had already clocked just over 2 million worldwide, deaths at 127,000 plus, and recoveries 491,842. Well, again, shedding more light on this is our health minister, the Honorable Dr. Dwayne Sands, who first shares with our Lloyd Allen how someone is actually added to the list and what's required for people to move from quarantined to recovered.
Across the country, and I don't know the numbers from overnight, but between 15 and 20 persons hospitalized. The balance would be home. Now, bear in mind the way our dashboard is set up. We are talking about total cases from the first case, which was recorded March 15th. So even the recovered cases are included in the total number of confirmed cases. Even the persons that have died are included in the total number of confirmed cases. So if you wanted to know exactly how these confirmed cases go, you take the number 49, you subtract the recovered cases, 6, the deaths, 8, and that leaves you with what we call the active cases. And of those active cases, about half of them are in hospital and half of them are at home.
Now, for those ones in hospital, what drugs are being used to treat those patients?
We have access to all of the cocktails that are being trialed around the world. And in some instances, people have been using the hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin. We have access to remdesivir. We have access to all of the drugs which are under investigative trial. Now, it's very important that we state categorically that there are no confirmed effective medications, that all of these therapeutic approaches are being investigated. So even though they are used, it doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to be effective.
Now, we were told about the 9-year-old who tested positive for COVID-19, an update on her condition, and are there other children in quarantine numbers?
Yes, there are other children, and fortunately the children have been faring quite well, and we look forward to complete recovery and increasing the number of recovered persons on the list. Remember that our first case was diagnosed on March the 15th. Today is April the 15th, if I'm not mistaken. Generally, it takes between 3 to 4 weeks with an infected patient for it to run its course, and then to get the 2 successive negative RT-PCR tests or to confirm clinical recovery. At 4 weeks from the first case, and then we had additional cases added subsequently, there's going to be an obligatory lag. I know people want to see that number of recovered patients climb, and it will. And eventually we will get to the point where there's a significant number of not only recovered Bahamians, but a sizable part of the population who have been exposed and now have immunity. And that is the day we're hoping for.
For the 6 patients who had been recorded as recovered, is there a threat of re-emergence?
That's an excellent question. And as you know, there's significant controversy in the literature with some countries reporting reinfection or positive tests. Bear in mind that no tests are perfect, and part of these test results may reflect false positive results or previous false negative results. So as we learn more about this novel disease, no pun intended, we're going to find out more about the biology. But I would be very surprised if this virus is any different than any other virus, and the response of the body in terms of the immunologic response. So once you get IgG, IgM, monocytes, and other immune cells, B cells and T cells, that respond to this virus, it is, in my view, highly unlikely that once you have recovered from this viral infection, that you can, in the short term, be reinfected again.
Well, as with everything else, COVID-19's thrown a huge monkey wrench in traditional learning. Education officials have, however, spent some time getting around with the help of virtual learning. According to Education Minister, the Honourable Jeffrey Lloyd, nearly 30,000 students have already registered. Those who haven't can simply log on to www.ministryofeducationbahamas.com. Click on virtual learning and register. Now, for those who don't have internet access, the ministry has partnered with Cable Bahamas to further expand its virtual learning content.
The ministry wishes to make it clear that education continues. This is not a vacation or a time off to relax the studious attention of our students to their schoolwork. End of term and national exams will be held at a later date, and you must be ready. And the only way to be ready is to be continuously engaged in meaningful learning experiences while at home. The ministry has made available to you the great opportunity and advantage that the ministry has provided on the virtual learning network. And we at the ministry are committed to the safety and security of our students and teachers, administrators, and support staff, and will continue to provide our stakeholders with updated information as in timely a manner as permitted by the COVID-19 crisis. Thank you.
Well, strong COVID-19 protocol issued for boats, yachts, and other private craft in local waters. Under current conditions, no boats are allowed to enter until further notice without prior approval. Now, the vessels already in the Bahamas are being asked to identify themselves and report on the medical conditions of crew members. Also, in view of COVID-19 restrictions, these foreign boats are encouraged to leave the Bahamas. Those unable to do so should remain in shelter, and those on board should avoid interpersonal contact with people on shore. Request for food or other items must be made by telephone and drop off without interpersonal contact. Concerns regarding the stipulations can be made with the port controller or the Bahamas Maritime Authority. Coming up, we'll tell you how the Bahamas Red Cross Society is meeting the demands for assistance despite COVID-19.
COVID-19 continues to impact the Bahamas and the world.
The Ministry of Health has confirmed 5 cases of COVID-19 in the Bahamas.
ZNS Network is here to keep you informed on this growing pandemic.
We are in a race against time.
With team coverage, hourly updates, news, and special reports with information that is important to you. ZNS Network is your best choice for COVID-19 coverage. No other station covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, your hottest place on the planet for rims, tints, tires, and auto sales. We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king. Blessed luck.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
The Ministry of Education, in conjunction with the Ministry of Health, advises students, teachers, administrators, and staff to adhere to the following steps in an effort to minimize the risk of COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus. Step 1. Be sure to wash hands before and after you eat, after using the bathroom, touching money, shaking hands, or emptying the trash. You may also use hand sanitizers throughout the day. Frequently wash hands with soap and water for 20 seconds and rinse with clean water. Dry hands with clean paper towels. Step 2. Cough or sneeze into your elbow or sleeve and not into your hands or into the ear. Or cover your nose or mouth with a tissue. Immediately dispose of the tissue into the trash. Be sure to wash your hands thoroughly afterwards. Step 3. Do not drink from the same cans, bottles, or cups of other persons. Do not share eating utensils, such as forks and spoons. Do not share school supplies, such as pencils or pens. Step 4. Germs can live on many surfaces. Be sure to wipe and disinfect desks, school supplies, railings, and other surfaces that are regularly touched by others. Step 5. Avoid close contact with anyone who is coughing and sneezing. Let's do what we can to help minimize the risk of the coronavirus.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
COVID-19 has left the Bahamas Red Cross strapped, and so much so that it's seeking funding to carry out broad national goals. You see, the Society was forced to cancel 2 of its major events, its fair and old school dance, which account for thousands of dollars. While some staff members are working from home, others from the office. Meetings, however, are conducted virtually. President Therese Curry says the Daily Meals on Wheels program continues, and as you can imagine, the demand is growing under the COVID-19 atmosphere.
Since COVID, we're seeing the increase, and so we're preparing now for 750 persons to assist with the meals, hot meals. We have our parcel food program, meaning that persons who prefer to cook for themselves, and so we provide them with a box of groceries. And on that program, I think those numbers are within the 50s, by whom we provide each week with the parcel program, the parcel boxes. But also we send stuff to our family islands, because it's not only Nassau that has needs. So all of our family islands we cover in providing them with parcel boxes to distribute to those who are in need.
The Red Cross is also offering psychological support to those impacted by the stress of COVID-19. In fact, it's encouraging individuals to call in for assistance. Also, the Society's Dorian Relief Program is ongoing, hence increasing funding needs.
Seeking international donations in addition to the local donations, our local partners, to help us to continue, because for what we see as we look to the future for COVID, and the economy, our hotels, major hotels, the tourism industry having been shut down, we see coming in the need. It won't be a short term. We see a long term need, and so we are seeking to for the long term to be able to assist persons over the long haul and not just in the immediate. And so, we have our feelers out searching for donations that we can assist in this COVID situation.
Accessing food and daily supplies high on the list for Bahamians in the ongoing fight against COVID-19. Our Lloyd Allen speaks with one local entrepreneur keen on remaining relevant in the crisis.
So on Monday, the Prime Minister made the announcement that companies are now available to deliver groceries. One of those companies that remains on the market is Runners. On the line with us this morning on Zoom is Jemiel Roll. He's actually based in Atlanta, but operates his company from there here in the Bahamas. Good morning, Jemiel. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So talk to us about the diversity in your company.
Well, we're a marketplace that allows delivery for any kind of business, whether it's a franchise, small business, or home-based business.
Excellent. And so obviously over the last few weeks, I'm sure business has picked up.
It's picked up on all fronts for drivers, whether it's drivers signing up to work, business calling us, and customers using the app. So it's an unfortunate situation, but it's something that's helped our business.
Talk to me about some of the types of customers that you have available. You said your business is double fold. So those businesses that have signed up, what are some of those companies locally that have?
Restaurant-wise, we've had Outback. We have Salad Masters come on. We have Spritz Restaurant. We have Little Caesars also coming on. These are just the ones in recent weeks, but we also have News Cafe. We have Makeup Frenzy beyond the restaurant realm. Like I said, we do all aspects of delivery, not just restaurant.
And again, you know, adding to the point you made earlier that your business is double fold. Obviously, persons from home who may be interested in purchasing some grocery essential, how can myself access items through your company?
We do have a feature called Custom Pickup, where people that have done like prepaid purchases, online purchases, and they don't want to venture out, they can still upload their proof of purchase, and a driver can still go and pick it up and deliver it to them wherever they are on the island.
So the items would have to be bought first before you actually become involved?
Because they have to be brought first. Unless that vendor is on the app, it doesn't work that way. But the Custom Pickup app, anything can be done. You can run errands, we can buy prepaid items, we can deliver prepaid items, and all that can be done through the Custom Pickup. Even prescription, the refills.
Now, obviously, the Bahamas, here in the Bahamas, it's a unique market in the sense of GPS is not what it's like in the U.S. So maneuvering and accessing customers, how easy is that process for you?
Well, yeah, we figured that into what's going on. GPS is not pinpoint there. However, you do have the customer's number, and they have yours. So it gets you within the close vicinity we found. So you just give them a call, and you know, you guys can figure it out from then. But businesses are pinpoint. Home addresses tend not to be.
And my final question, with runners, what actually gave you the idea to come up with this company? I know you started about 2 years ago.
Well, it was something that I was looking to invest in, and I thought this was something that it's the way the world is going. Digital, virtual, you know, I mean, it's obviously I can run a business from anywhere in the world with just an internet connection. So this was something that I was interested in. And it's also, we're launching it here, by the way. So we just got our office here in Atlanta. So Runners Atlanta is coming. So it's something I can take all over the world. So this is why I started it.
Well, some good information. Of course, it's always a pleasure to speak with all of our Bahamian brothers and sisters abroad. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Well, COVID-19 also leaving the real estate market in a chokehold, with realtors grappling to keep both buyers and sellers at ease amid worrisome market changes. Providing more insight on that is real estate broker, appraiser, and director of Kiki Varacas Properties, Kim Kiki Varacas Stillett. Stillett, how's the market looking at this point?
This is one of those unique situations where everybody in the real estate transaction will be affected, from the buyer, the seller, the loan institution, the lawyer, title search companies. Everybody is going to be affected by this crisis. Mostly, I think our renters that may have lost jobs or may have gotten laid off because our big hotels had to shut down, just like everywhere else in the world, I think those persons would be mostly affected, most hard hit. And then it would be our landlord owners who also have to pay mortgages to the banks. I think those persons would be a little more hard hit than others in this time. However, from the press conferences that I see, I understand that the government and the loaning institutions are trying to put together policies to provide relief, which I think is going to be well needed and well received by all.
Okay, now, is there any benefit to being a buyer at this time?
Definitely. I think qualified buyers will find an opportunity in a market like this. Why? Because your buying power has just increased. So this is a time when qualified buyers are going to be finding opportunities, deals, and buying some pretty much going to be vying for your business at this point.
Has things ever really, though, been this bad for real estate in the country?
I would only compare it to the housing crisis in America in 2008. That definitely affected our economy and our second home buyers, our second home purchasers, so for the luxury real estate side of our market. And then historically, you'll have to go back to the Spanish flu in 1918. That would have been one of the times where the world globally was disrupted by something like a pandemic.
And the billion-dollar question here, what's your guess on how long it will take for the real estate market to bounce back?
I've heard a lot of experts say that we're looking at summer at least, and it may go on longer. So it all depends. But I don't think anyone truly knows how long something like this will go on. I just think that we need to stay positive. We need to have faith. We need to have hope, and we need to do things to strengthen our industries, which we still can do. We still can find a silver lining in a time like this for our real estate industries. I know this time is a great time to start to make sure that you have walkthrough videos of every house that you have on the market, that you make sure that your photos are all together. So even persons at home who cannot physically be out can see and get a feeling of what there is to offer them in the market, even if they aren't able to be there physically. There's a lot more video conferencing going on. I think a lot of people didn't even know the word Zoom a couple of weeks ago, and now everybody's on Zoom, from the churches to board meetings to community groups. So I think there's definitely positivity in what's happening right now. This has created us to be hungry, to be driven, to go there and be innovative and try to create something different, because we've been through crisis and we will get through crisis. But it's how we deal with it, which is important.
Well, coming up, how are customers coping with the long buying climbs? Stay with the Morning Edition.
Let's stay COVID-free. Remember the 3 S's: sanitize, social distance, and stay inside.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Parents, school is closed, but your children are not on vacation. As much as possible, spend time reviewing and helping them to organize their virtual lessons. Try to find a structured time each day for study and for recreation. Remember, learning never stops.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
A lot of people are getting involved in these issues because they don't have a means to express themselves. We could deal with so many issues of violence that are going on in our community if we just give our young people in particular an opportunity to say what's on their mind. One thing I say is that one way or another, our youth are going to make themselves heard.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
Long lines still a challenge for many who were up from sunrise hoping to get a jump on others determined to make it into local banks. Some of them shared their challenges amidst the Tuesday morning rush with our Lloyd Allen.
Many customers are up in arms. They say they've waited out the door since before sunrise waiting for service. However, they remain frustrated, saying that some officers jumped the line ahead of them who waited for service for hours. Like clockwork, hundreds flocked to local banks and stores Tuesday morning in an attempt to stock up on groceries and other supplies coming out of the extended holiday lockdown. However, for dozens at Commonwealth Bank, Oaksfield branch, chaos reigned as some say they waited from before sunrise to have others ignore social distancing and jump the line.
At 5 a.m., I met two cars here. One car with 3 persons, another car with 2 persons, me, myself. The police officers came 20 minutes, 30 minutes to the time that the bank was opening. Senior citizens was here from dark this morning along with us. When the bank opened, the manager came out to let us know that the police officers are getting served before anybody else. How is that fair?
Karen Jones, who is disabled, says the bank has always made provisions for the disabled and understands the challenges across the board, as this is a difficult time for all Bahamians.
This bank is to really work with us a lot, disabled folks. Everything is wheelchair access to get in and out. Right now, things is rough for everybody, so everybody trying to get a little pass in and a pass out. Well, I just come out the hurricane in Abaco, so just another sad story again, you know. But thank God for life. That's the most important thing right now. We're surviving.
According to the Prime Minister in his Monday address, grocery stores will open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. The time from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., Monday to Friday, will be reserved for seniors and persons with disabilities. The Prime Minister has previously stated that seniors should work from home or select a designated shopper from their household. But for those who still have to brave the outdoors, a good rule of thumb is to get out early to avoid long lines. For the morning edition, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, demands on the National Insurance Board increase as more Bahamians find themselves towing the unemployment line. And as you guessed it, all as a result of COVID-19. Cleopatra Murphy has this update.
Long lines continued at the National Insurance Board Tuesday as thousands of unemployed Bahamians in the country look to secure unemployment benefits amidst the novel coronavirus pandemic. Minister of National Insurance, the Honorable Brenzel Roll, says the agency is currently processing just under 30,000 applications as the country grapples with the economic effects of the virus.
So far, we've spent about $5 million on 12,000 applications. We are processing a significant number of small businesses, so we expect the numbers would increase significantly. We anticipate that Family Islands are somewhat slow, so they're coming in at a slower pace.
Aside from the normal unemployment benefit the agency supplies, the minister says an additional 3,000 people have applied for the special assistance given by government for those in the tourism industry. He says those have been processed and payments made to most. Roll says he is satisfied with the pace NIB is working to get money in the hands of those who need it.
Certainly we are in front of the pace of the U.S. You will recall that this process was just announced to us less than 2 weeks. And we have made those payments to individuals in the major hotel companies. I know we're having some slight issues with persons in smaller companies because their process is a little bit slower because some of them are not up to date totally.
The minister says for April, NIB has advanced $20 million in pension payments, noting that Grand Key and Moores Island that are not up to date will receive payments this week. While the National Insurance Board is projected to distribute an additional $16 million than was anticipated each month due to the COVID-19 crisis, and it is a cause of concern, he says officials are not overly worried about the fund's solvency.
We're not concerned in a serious fashion about NIB's funds. We just want to make sure that we pay as quickly as we can and show the Bahamian people that we are there for them. And hopefully they will be there for us. This is an exercise where Bahamians would see the benefit of NIB of being compliant and making their payments.
Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Meanwhile, a ban on the import of non-medical masks still in effect, and that means while all masks ordered before April 10th will be allowed in the country, proof must be shown of the ordered date. The move securing backing of local designers. Jillian Curry-Williams from Elder Rose Designs applauds the initiative, but says the standard should remain high.
It's a very good initiative that the Prime Minister has done. It gives persons who may have lost their jobs or persons that may not have had something to do, a way of making monies. Making a mask that has no lining, you might as well don't wear a mask. If you're making a mask that has a lining and that's all it has, but it has no way for you to put in a filter, you might as well don't wear a mask. Mask, as suggested by the CDC, should be made from quilter's fabric or a fabric that has a very tight weave. And if your outer fabric doesn't have a tight weave, then you can just tighten it by, putting some iron-on pell onto it or interfacing. That will tighten the weave. But we should either decide or say your mask cannot be made if they are not 3 to 4 ply. Other than that, it defeats the purpose. You may as well don't wear a mask. Not with 2 ply, especially if your fabric is thin. But I think that should be something that should be implemented so that the masks are made to a certain standard straight across the board.
The COVID-19 pandemic, indeed a challenge for many across the globe, but a wide range of generosity and compassion still being given to those who need it most during this difficult time. A leader in the maritime sector on Grand Bahama making a major donation to the Disaster Relief Foundation. Natalia Hall has more.
The donation is worth some $25,000 for the purchase of masks, which will be donated to the Grand Bahama Health Services. The medical-grade masks are a critical piece of personal protective equipment required to safeguard the health of nurses, doctors, and other frontline workers as they care for COVID-19 patients. President and CEO of Elnet Maritime, Ellie Hepburn, says the COVID-19 pandemic is a difficult time for the entire country, and he is encouraging all citizens to take the deadly virus seriously.
When Hurricane Dorian hit, I said to a lot of persons I know, that's the first storm that I've ever seen take the lives of people that I actually knew personally. And here it is, the same thing has happened with this pandemic. I know persons personally that have died from it. And we have to take it extremely serious, and especially for our healthcare workers. These are persons that, whether they so much want to be there or not, they're putting themselves at risk because they have the expertise and they're trained to assist and aid with the sick.
Now, President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, expressed his appreciation.
Well, Ellie has always been, a valuable member to our business community. And he's a generous guy. When we ask him or call on him sometimes to donate to other matters, he comes up to the plate, and I wish that other businesses on the island step up their game. I know it's a challenging time now, but even before this challenge that we're in the midst of now, he always came up to the plate to assist.
While the Grand Bahama Port Authority offices remain closed, work is still ongoing. The president revealed that the company continues to feed those in need and assist with rebuilding efforts for residents who were affected by Hurricane Dorian.
And of course, with our licensees, especially those in the tourism sector, once they approach us, we would deal one-on-one in regards to payment concessions or license fee concessions for those businesses that have been significantly affected, especially in the tourism sector. And, we continuously do our part in terms of purchasing medical supplies for our community.
He says the GBPA also recognized that having sufficient healthcare facilities are important during this COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, the company secured the Grand Bahama Cancer Association building for the Grand Bahama Health Services.
So it's about being proactive. And, we're continuously doing that at the moment so we wouldn't get caught. They have the keys, they have access to it. So they're probably making minor renovations right now to ensure that it is ready to handle the patients. I'm not sure if they're in it yet, but they definitely have the key. They have possession of it.
The president says the GBPA remains committed to Grand Bahama during this difficult period. It's Talia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Well, time is what most people have nowadays to do things they may have been neglecting. Exactly how are Bahamians spending their time under the strict COVID-19 regulations? Our Charles Fisher has the answer in this next report.
Time is of the essence, and with this lockdown now on, time is all most people have. What you choose to do with that time is up to you, says DJ Counselor.
You could waste the time or you could invest that time. Of course, it gives an opportunity to spend more time with family. It gives an opportunity to spend more time with God. It gives an opportunity to kind of, I guess, observe your life, man. A lot of things you can do with all of this time you have on your hands. And so investing in yourself is also very important. And sometimes we spend a lot of time investing in everything else except ourselves. And so our relationship with others is important. That's the self-evaluation I think everyone should be doing. And also you growing as a person.
Time to save. That's what this lockdown has taught Manley Wilson.
A lot of us live paycheck to paycheck without the ability to say, well, okay, possibly I may save for the future. I can't do this, I can't do that. When you realize that the uncertainties of life can at any time present themselves full frontal, you can't avoid it, you can't turn to the left or to the right, but that's a part of your journey. It teaches you to have a better aspect of savings. So what did I learn from this? Plan for tomorrow.
For Davinia Josie, time for family.
The things that I was unable to do before because I was so busy. Now I have the time to do the time needed to spend with my children, my husband. It's afforded me that opportunity, and so for that I'm grateful. The Easter season that has just passed, for me, I would have been spending it in church, but because of the lockdown, it has kind of forced us as a ministry. Commonwealth Baptist Church is my church. It has forced us as a ministry to be more innovative in the way that we reach people. And so it's not all bad.
Leah now has the opportunity to stop and smell the roses.
It was always, I have to go to work, or I'm too tired when everyone was going to work, or when everyone was out of the house. But now it's literally like, everyone's together. There's more togetherness in your family. I can speak for me and a few others out there. And then there's meditating and praying, getting closer to God. That is one of the most important ones.
Nikisha Roll is just missing the pleasures of life we took for granted.
I found myself basically snacking a lot and eating because of boredom. And so I'm not a 3-meal eater anyway. My metabolism doesn't work that way, but I'm eating more and I'm cooking more and I don't like it. It's the negative. I miss my takeout. I miss dining out. I miss my social connections.
And for entertainer Mr. Beats, it's all fine. Just one thing is missing.
I'm an outdoors person, so for number one, I've been limited in my time outdoors. I love walking, exercising, doing all that fun stuff outside, love breathing the fresh air. Number two, if you look at my physical appearance, you'll see that I have some extra stuff growing on me. Yes, and that's called hair. That's because I've had limited access to my barber. So not much access to my barber to basically nothing.
Hope you are finding time in this lockdown. For the Morning Edition, I'm Charles Fisher.
Well, right now, about the best time to give our pastoral motivation of the day, here is Bishop Trevor Williamson of Trinity Global Cathedral.
I will rejoice and be glad. The Bible says in 1 Peter chapter 5 and 8, be sober, be vigilant, for the devil is as a roaring lion, seeking whom souls he may devour. And let me understand the devil, or understand the lion. The lion always goes after feeble, sickly, or weak animals. Just like this COVID-19 is going after our vulnerable, our elders, those who have health issues. But I want you to know, no weapon that is formed against you will prosper in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. And so I will encourage you today, continue to trust God. Remember, God told me a few weeks ago, son, turn your fears into faith and watch me turn your faith into favor. And so I encourage you this morning, be blessed, and highly favored. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And so right now, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, Father God, I pray for our nation. I pray for our Prime Minister. Lord God, I pray for the opposition. I pray for Dr. Sands. Cover us in your blood. For the Bible declares, when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And so, Father God, I thank you for the blood. The Bible declares, the songwriter hymn, what can wash away my sins? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Yes, his blood still reaches to the highest mountain and flows to the lowest valley. His blood shall give us strength from day to day, and his blood will never lose his power. And so we plead the blood over COVID-19. We plead the blood over this coronavirus in the name of Jesus Christ. And I want you to know, fear not, for God is with you. I want you to remind you, no weapon that is formed against you will prosper. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ we pray. God bless you and enjoy the rest of your day. Amen.
Across the entire span of the Bahamas, there is a strategic spread of national parks which play a vital role in protecting the survival and well-being of diverse wildlife, as well as Bahamian livelihoods. The Andros Westside National Park, for instance, consists of thriving bonefish populations, the healthiest stands of red mangroves found in the Bahamas, breeding and nursery areas that support wildlife such as snappers, groupers, lobsters, and threatened and endangered species like marine turtles, the Andros rock iguana, and the flamingo.
If we do not effectively safeguard our natural treasures, vital habitats, which include nursery and breeding areas, will become vulnerable to a number of threats impacting the way we live. We must remember to do our part to maintain the integrity of the natural environment. Remember, if we take care of nature, nature will take care of us.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, I'm on television.
I don't have a TV in there.
We have Wi-Fi, though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Present check. Miss I's a star now. I still gotta pay.
Well, it's Wednesday, and it's time to check your morning commute with our Lloyd Allen.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Well, good morning, Makushla. Good morning, Bahamas. Of course, we are giving you your first look at traffic. This one coming in from the area of Blue Hill Road South. Now, it's right across the street from the Commonwealth Bank. You would have seen that story we ran earlier today in regards to some chaos ensuing in the area of the Oaksfield Commonwealth Bank. But, of course, much order restored and being maintained at this Commonwealth Bank. Even though the bank has been, the line rather, has been wrapped around the building, staff members from the bank, including security officers, are assisting customers with maintaining social distancing as well as keeping calm as they prepare to best service those customers throughout the day. Also, right across the street is the Super Value store, and a big change from yesterday. Yesterday, you know, if you would have traveled around the country, you would have seen that many lines were very long. Today, those lines seem to have shortened. I imagine much persons would have gotten much of those shopping requirements completed yesterday, and today, a shorter amount of persons out on the streets. That's some good news for persons who still need to go out and replenish their grocery supplies. as it relates to traffic, I've seen already on the street so far, some motorists on the streets, many persons obeying traffic lights, using their turning signals, and it seems like much order is being maintained as Bahamians continue to operate in this COVID-19 environment. But of course, reporting to you guys from the area of Blue Hill Road South, Lloyd Allen for the Morning Edition. Makushla, back to you in studio.
Well, as always, thanks, Lloyd. In our morning exercise, Natasha Brown provides us with tips to improve our flexibility and stretches you can use before, during, and after your routine.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to another segment where we will get it right. Let's get right to it. We're going to go through a nice flexibility session where we just warm up and loosen up our bodies so that we can have an awesome day. Let's get right to it. Let's take to our knees, go all the way down. Make sure throughout this entire routine that you keep your core tight, you are breathing, and you're feeling very good about yourself. Sit back into your heels and extend your hands all the way forward. Exhale and just relax right here. Great. Take the butt, lean over to the right heel and hold it here. Ready. Now let's shift it all the way over to the left heel. Again, remain sitting comfortably into the heels. Really keep your hands extended forward so you can feel that pull all the way through the sides of your back. Now let's bring it into the center. Again on the heels. Exhale and really extend the hands. Now relax your head. Ready. Take the right hand, push it all the way through. And you want to just go ahead, if you can, relax your head and just hold it. Ready, and switch. Bring the right hand back to position. Now take the left hand all the way out. You want to be able to hold each stretch for about 15 to 20 seconds. Ready. Let's switch. Now let's move the body forward into an upward dog position. Make sure your hands are comfortable, right up underneath the shoulders. Your feet are together at the back. Uncurl your toes. Relax your feet in your tennis shoes and just slightly arch the back and breathe.
Self-isolation means taking simple steps to avoid close contact with other people as much as possible, as you would with the seasonal flu. If you've been in close contact with somebody confirmed with COVID-19 or suspect that you have it, self-isolate for 14 days. You can self-isolate by staying indoors and away from family for 14 days. Choose a well-ventilated room with a closed door. Household members should stay in a different room or if that is not possible, maintain a distance of at least 3 feet. Use a sealed waste basket and double bag your waste before disposal. Limit movement in your house. Stay in your assigned space away from the rest of the household. The caretaker will bring food and anything else you need. Use separate cookery and cutlery. Use a separate bathroom and clean it regularly. Use separate towels, separate cleaning linens, and clothing. If you are in need of care by household members, limit the number of caregivers. Assign one person who is in good health and has minimum risk conditions. Most importantly, remember, do not invite others over. Should you or anyone you know feel that you've been exposed to the coronavirus, contact the COVID-19 hotline at the Ministry of Health immediately. To reach us, call 376-9350, 376-9387, 300-2619, or our 24-hour hotline at 502-7382. For more information, visit covid19.gov.bs.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Ministry of Health and this television station.
Well, it's time for our morning forecast, and outside of our studios, we're under partly sunny skies, a temperature at 79 degrees, relative humidity 83%, southerly winds at 9 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,018.4 millibars, that's 30.07 inches, and your pressure is falling. Temperatures around the islands this morning, Marsh Harbour, Abaco at 76, 75 degrees in Green Tulkey, that's also in Abaco, Freeport, Grand Bahama at 75, 79 in the Berry Islands, Alistown, Bimini 81 degrees, 77 in Harper Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera 77, 78 in Otterstown, Cat Island, Staniel Key, Kemps Bay, St. Andros, and Freshwick and Central Andros, all at 79 degrees. San Salvador 78, 78 degrees also in Rum Key in Ragged Island, Clownstown, Long Island, Crooked Island 78, 79 in Betsy Bay, Maguana, Ackland 79, Matchetown, Inagua, and the Turks and Caicos Islands also reporting 79 degrees. And your boating forecast for today in the northwestern islands, the winds are going to be southerly at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean, low tide 9:20 this morning, high tide will take place at 3:16 this afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands, southeast winds also around 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And our satellite picture, well, we still have that frontal boundary lingering around northern Florida. It will continue to move very slowly towards the south and east. You can see some of the leading clouds already starting to reach the Grand Bahama area. That's some high cirrus type clouds, so you don't have to worry too much about any kind of precipitation today. But as that frontal boundary gets a little closer, the core of those shower activity will move very near the extreme northwest Bahamas, and you can anticipate some showers, possibly some thunderstorms, come late Thursday night, heading into Friday morning. Until then, high pressure will remain in control of our weather for most of the day and tomorrow, and then it will start to push off towards the east to make way for the arrival of this frontal system. And our forecast for today simply calls for warm, humid conditions. There will be a mixture of cloud and sunshine, but more sun than clouds. Your high temperature getting up to 86 degrees, and temperature trends will look something like this. Starting to warm up in the nighttime, so we're starting off in the early morning around 78 degrees. That will gradually climb, getting up to about 81 around 9 o'clock this morning, and we should reach a peak of about 84 degrees just around midday, 1 o'clock, and that will plateau out right into about 3 o'clock this afternoon before temperatures start to take a slight dip towards the south. And then mostly clear tonight with your low temperature getting down to 77 degrees, and your extended weather forecast over the next 7 days. Lots of sunshine through Thursday, but as we told you, Thursday night there will be some clouds in the forecast, maybe a brief shower as that frontal system goes through. Those showers will linger on into Friday morning, clearing taking place on Friday afternoon, and that will continue right through the weekend. So we're looking at a pretty nice weekend weather-wise, and by the middle part of next week, some more showers will work their way into our forecast as there is yet another weak front system. So we haven't gotten rid of those fronts as yet, even though they're not making much of a difference in terms of our temperatures. Temperatures-wise, during the daytime, they will remain in the mid-80s right through the 7-day cycle, reaching a high of 88 degrees, and that's near 90 degrees. So we're really getting close to those summer-type temperatures. But when you throw the heat index in that will certainly be more like about 91 degrees on Monday. So very warm temperatures developing. Nighttime temperatures in the mid-70s, and that too will hold right through the cycle. We get a little dip on Tuesday to about 73 degrees, and that will continue into the middle part of next week. Kishla?
Well, thanks, Basil. Some pretty warm temperatures to enjoy in our backyard. Those home videos are very popular. Meantime, here are the latest.
Who is the meanest? Who is the loudest? Who is the baddest? Who is the most caring? Who is the sneakiest? Who's the cleanest? Who's the messiest? Who gets in trouble the most? Who has the worst attitude? Who's the funniest? Who eats the most? Who will be the last to leave the house after they are grown? Who will put us in a nursing home?
Baby, come give me something, oh. Baby, come give me something, oh. 'Cause I can't stop loving you.
On behalf of the Stewart and the King family, we have put together this presentation for all the workers out there on the front line. We ask that you continue to be safe, and for those who do not have to be outside, please don't be outside.
Thank you, healthcare providers.
Thank you, law enforcement agencies.
Thank you, Bahamas Customs Service. Thank you to Resume. Thank you, utility workers. Food suppliers.
It is time. If you have not done so already, stop and take the time to pray. For this world, as we know it now, is quickly passing away. Millions of people have become ill. Thousands of others have and may die without the comfort of loved ones who can't say their final goodbye. Countries all throughout the world each day are facing the same. The coronavirus, the equalizer, and are all on the level plane. The rich man in his castle and the poor man at his gate are experiencing the same dilemma, and each faces the same fate. Yet there are those in every land who seek to find someone to blame, not willing to accept the fact global is the virus name.
Well, just a reminder, keep those videos and pictures coming in on how you're passing the time in the government-imposed lockdown, or if you want to salute those on the front line, the number 477-0546. And remember to stay tuned to the ZNS Network, your best choice for local, regional, and international COVID-19 coverage. We are the only station providing you with live radio and television updates throughout the day, giving you up-to-the-minute information. Our coverage continues at 10 on radio, and then at 2 on the television network. Good morning, everyone.
Come dance and let the thing flow. Lift your leg up and get low. Down, y'all go touch on your toe. Y'all go touch on your heel and toe. Man go touch on your toe. Y'all go touch on your heel and toe. Don't care what nobody see. You come to dance and be free. Take a little advice from the G. Just smile and show them your teeth. Then take your tongue and stop on the floor. Show them who will do one more. Y'all you stop on the floor. Don't stop. Watch the girl never wine it. Watch the girl never wine it. Right now we can't go.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Would you like some tea or water before we start?
No thanks, I'm fine.
Okay, so how have you been since our last session?
Better. I found myself slowing down a bit. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because I've been thinking more about my wife.
It's okay.
I mean Dee Dee. I'm sorry, I just have to get that out of my mind.
It's perfectly fine, Lloyd. You're just processing your feelings. So let's talk about that. What are you